It makes it so that carbohydrates don't break down as easy, which is a great thing if you're doing a low carbohydrate diet, right? Because that means that some of the carbohydrates you might accidentally get in your body when you just have a fraction of a tortilla chip when you're sitting at a Mexican restaurant, right? Okay, it could help prevent the uptake of that, or at least reduce the uptake by reducing. Everyone's munching on kale, munching on broccoli, munching on their greens, and I'm here just chewing on palm trees because, well, honestly, there's a lot of benefits to it. Okay, don't literally go out and chew on palm trees, okay, but hearts of palm comes from a palm tree. It's not an artichoke heart, okay, big difference here. And why it's not more popular, I don't really know, probably because my grandpa used to put it on pizza, and that just seemed kind of weird at the time. But the reality is there's a lot of cool things that you can do with hearts of palm, especially when you realize it's a mineral powerhouse. Now, if you watch my channel a lot, you know that I'm a mineral nerd. And that means I'm obsessed with how minerals function within the body, and I think they're a catalyst for just about every powerful ability we could have. So it just turns out that hearts of palm are loaded with copper, which is quite frankly a little bit harder to get from the diet. They're loaded with zinc. Okay, one 100-gram serving of hearts of palm has 70% of your daily value of copper. And it has about 40% of your potassium levels, which is going to help your muscles contract and help a bunch of other processes and help combat sodium. So it could help out with that water retention, everything there. And between 35 and 40% of your daily allotment of zinc. Okay, point is, mineral powerhouse. When it comes down to modulating the inflammatory response, when it comes down to modulating the immune system via the ZIP8 pathway, all that, you want to have that copper-zinc ratio. Anyhow, I'm going to bore you with all that stuff. I do want to make sure you hit that red subscribe button and then hit that little bell icon. And remember, this video is for informational purposes only. I'm just some guy on the internet that lost 100 pounds and happens to know a little bit of biochemistry. And I guess I chew on palm trees too. Also, after this video, since you'll be super hot on hearts of palm, check out Natural Heaven Pasta. They are a hearts of palm based pasta, and they are awesome. I've talked about them on my Instagram all the time because they are a perfect low carb pasta that you just heat up, you add your sauce to it, and you're good to go. Okay, so it's totally keto friendly, very low carb, very high fiber, tastes delicious. Just highly, highly, highly recommend you check them out. There's a link down below. Okay, now when we look at hearts of palm, there is a tiny bit of fat in it, although a very, 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 very small amount. It is a great ratio of the right kinds of fats. The primary fat that you're going to find in hearts of palm is going to be what's called oleic acid. And again, I nerd out on oleic acid because I know that oleic acid acts as somewhat of a signaling device for specific gene expression. Okay, it activates what's called PPAR alpha. Okay, so oleic acid indirectly has an ability to help your body burn more calories as heat. So I'm obsessed with oleic acid to begin with, although full disclaimer, there's not a lot of oleic acid, there's not a lot of fats in hearts of palm. It's just the nice ratio. Okay, the next fat that you're gonna find in there is gonna be palmitic acid, which is a saturated fat that out of all the saturated fats is one of the better ones. It's gonna improve the reuptake of LDL into the liver, which means that potentially you're gonna have lower levels of LDL in the bloodstream. But let's not go down that rabbit hole. Let's talk about something that's really, really cool, and that's called chlorogenic acid. Okay, chlorogenic acid is something that you normally get in coffee. Okay, people tout the benefits of chlorogenic acid in coffee all the time. The problem is you have to consume quite a bit of coffee to get that. So unless you want to be bouncing off the walls all the time like me, then you probably don't want to do that all the time. Well, cool thing is hearts of palm have so much chlorogenic acid, you get some benefits. Now let's talk about what this can do for you potentially. Chlorogenic acid can reduce the uptake of carbohydrates. And it does this by inhibiting a specific enzyme known as alpha glucosidase. So it makes it so that carbohydrates don't break down as easy, which is a great thing if you're doing a low carbohydrate diet, right? Because that means that some of the carbohydrates you might accidentally get in your body when you just have a fraction of a tortilla chip when you're sitting at a Mexican restaurant, right? Okay, it could help prevent the uptake of that, or at least reduce the uptake by reducing that enzyme activity. But I nerd out on a lot more than just the metabolic sort of fat loss side of things. So the next little chunk I'm going to talk about is going to be a different world, but please keep it locked in because this biochemistry is really cool. Okay, and again, this is where if you want to have a little snack, having something like that Natural Heaven pasta is perfect. Okay, now I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second. So it turns out that chlorogenic acid can also bind to what is called a benzodiazepine site. Now YouTube won't let me talk a lot about this specifically, so I'm going to beat around the bush and hopefully you get it. Okay, benzodiazepine site. A lot of people take particular things to have them bind to the benzodiazepine receptor so that they feel more calm. let's just leave it at that, and you could do a little bit of Google University there if you want to. Point is, it can help you feel calmer. Additionally, it increases what is called GLP, or glucagon-like peptide 1. Okay, glucagon-like peptide 1 can help bring insulin levels down, but why I'm interested in it is it helps you get into a fasted state faster. I'm always looking for that sweet spot in between meals because that's where I believe we burn a lot of fat. So if we can help bring those insulin levels down and get us into that glucagon state faster, then that's better. So having a little bit of hearts of palm or a little bit of this natural heaven pasta with your meal might be perfect because it brings you out of the fed state a little bit faster. And then lastly, we have a direct effect on PPAR alpha with the chlorogenic acid itself. PPAR alpha, again, was that piece that I talked about that could potentially help you utilize more energy from calories just burned as heat. Okay, so an effect on PPAR alpha directly, coupled with the oleic acid having an effect, means that it's a biochemistry nerd's paradise of potential fat burning. That's exciting to me. And then don't even get me started on the fiber, okay? Because normally when you're looking at some kind of super fibrous thing, you're looking at something that's gonna be high in soluble fiber, which is going to draw a lot of water in, which is fine, but sometimes that makes people feel uncomfortable. I know if I have too much soluble fiber, I get bloated. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you a good fibrous, somewhat prebiotic effect, then hearts of palm might be a great thing. Now again, you don't have to eat the natural heaven pasta that I'm talking about. I do recommend it, but you can put hearts of palm on pizza, you can put it in a salad, whatever you want to do. Okay, let's talk about two more important benefits here that I think are very critical to talk about. The phenolic acids. There's something known as p-hydroxybenzoic acid. This has been shown in some studies to have an antimicrobial, antibacterial effect. So this works because, okay, we're looking to bring a good fiber in to potentially help feed good bacteria. So if we have something that has an antimicrobial effect, there's the prospect of it potentially killing off bad bacteria or at least allowing the good bacteria to grow better. Now, that's somewhat theorized, but a lot of the research out there does help us believe that it could be the case. And then there's something there's a ton of research on. That is quercetin. Okay, quercetin is the master flavonoid. Now, flavonoids kind of regulate a lot of the body's internal cleansing systems. So things like boosting glutathione peroxidase, things like helping the body with its master antioxidant capabilities. We always want our body to have its own inherent natural ability to clean things up and have that antioxidant effect without having to consistently take in antioxidants. So flavonoids are a little bit better because they help support that antioxidant activity within the body rather than us becoming dependent on taking antioxidants all the time. That's why I don't usually recommend that people take antioxidants during a fast. You're trying to condition your body to get good at cleaning things up, not getting used to taking it in exogenously. So the more that we can support the process through good, healthy, well-rounded food choices, the better off that we're going to be. So again, just consider adding hearts of palm into your life. It's definitely a beneficial thing, and if you want a fun, easy way to get it, I do recommend checking out Natural Heaven Pasta down below in the description. As always, keep it locked in here on my channel. I'll see you tomorrow.